Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IAS Academy. I'm Sirbhi Sirdana and this is season 3 of our daily answer writing initiative. Two things about this initiative. First of all, the topic discussion for this initiative, the entire topic जिस पे हम लोग question पूछते हैं, that happens at 2:30 PM in our weekly current affairs discussion from Monday to Saturday on our YouTube channel, entirely free of cost. Secondly, you can from the comfort of your homes, offices or libraries write your own answers on the questions that we ask you, and you can share your answers with us on our website to be evaluated by our experts entirely free of cost. So this is our website rajiasacademy.com. On this website, in the mains answer writing tab, you can directly go there and you will find a list of questions that have been asked in Seize the Mains initiative this season and also the previous seasons. You can choose to write answer on any of the given questions. Our team is evaluating the previous answers also. So ऐसा नहीं है कि जो आज question discuss हो रहा है या जो कल होना है आप उसी पर answer लिख सकते हैं. You can write answers on any of the questions that have been discussed and you will get the feedback within a few days. So the question for today's for day 21 is from the topic discussion that happened yesterday at 2:30 PM. It was taken by Snigdha ma'am for international relations. So the topic discussion was around Shanghai Cooperation Organisation. This organization has been in news ever since India and Pakistan joined this organization as full-time members in and around 2017. तब से न्यूज़ में रहती है, इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है इंडिया के लिए, बढ़ रही है, कम हो रही है, and its role has always been in question and always been in news. So Shanghai Cooperation Organisation is bound to become the torch bearer of geopolitical liberty, freedom and peace for the 21st century. Comment, answer in 150 words and submit your answers anytime when it's feasible for you at rajiasacademy.com. For like a quick feedback, write your answers as quickly as possible because then the team evaluates it on a priority basis. Now SCO or any other organization, whenever a मल्टीलैटरल फोरम कम्स अप, बहुत सारी कंट्रीज़ मिलके एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इकट्ठे होते हैं. व्हेनेवर एन इंटरनेशनल फोरम is created, that international forum has the aim to become a global forum or to become a very strong forum at least in their regional areas. जो भी उसकी member countries हैं उसको उनके interest को best possible way में promote करने की कोशिश की जाती है. So Shanghai Cooperation Organisation is also one of them. There are many organizations in this world. SCO is one of them. So the examiner is asking you that it is bound to become the torch bearer of geopolitical liberty, freedom and peace. So why these values have been put in? Why क्या पिछली organizations में or did the previous organizations were not promoting, were they not promoting geopolitical liberty, freedom and peace? And what kind of liberty, freedom and peace are we talking about? Equality of all the nations irrespective of their interests. We are talking about freedom of trade. We are talking about, you know, liberty of how nations conduct themselves or how they act in their national interests. So trade, how they educate their children, what are their, what is their future vision with regards to their own nation. So that is all that has been the motto behind this organization. एक Shanghai spirit बोला जाता है, which is related to SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organisation. So the special part about this organization is that many a times it has been seen as a counterpart to NATO. NATO actually inducts a lot of members and it results into a turmoil. For example, the Russia-Ukraine crisis or the Russia-Ukraine war was also a result of NATO including more members. But SCO, the vision or aim document of SCO directly says that this is not one of our aims. We just want to enhance the regional cooperation and we want to establish peace and stability in Eurasian region, that is your Central Asia and Asian countries, other Southward Asian countries. So now you have to take a very balanced approach here. The question is comment. For any organization, you cannot just directly say, yes, this will be the organization that will become the torch bearer. No, you have to take a balanced approach. You have to write about achievements of SCO and you have to predict that on what basis can you say that, yes, it can become the torch bearer. Next, you also have to write about the challenges, that yes, there are challenges. in the way of SCO in becoming the torchbearer of freedom, peace and equality, liberty, all values, and create a new geopolitical order which is more equitable. So you will have to write down the challenges also. So we'll address both parts of this question, and because it is a comment question, comment questions basically ask for your viewpoint. So what you can do is either you can quote some data, but that data doesn't have to be your justification. The justification for every point has to be your own viewpoint, that why do you think that yes or no SCO will become the torchbearer. So let's first of all write the introduction. Now see, SCO is an old organization, so SCO ki definition or the introduction of SCO is not required. You don't have to write down about the member states of SCO. That is, this has become an old organization, and membership of SCO will not be very desirable by the examiner to see on your paper. So what you can do is you can talk about its contribution to GDP of the world. It's like a quarter of GDP of the world comes from SCO members. Secondly, you can talk about how much population it caters to, or what areas of geography or what areas on the map or on the globe does it are its members. So SCO is of great significance to promoting peace and security, prosperity and development in Central Asia, Eurasia and the world at large. So this basically starts it on a very positive note, and it also gives the examiner a broad membership of this organization. The expanded SCO has become the largest regional institution in the world, which covers 60% of Eurasian continent and has a population of around 3.2 billion, and GDP of its member states accounts to about 1/4 or 1/4 of the global total. So these two lines, these are very strong lines, and they will fetch you really good marks in your introduction. It boosts cooperation with observer states and dialogue partners and communicates closely with the United Nations. So it's talking about its functioning. How does it function? Through effective communication, through effective partnerships and international and regional organizations to build a multi-dimensional network. So just 3 lines in your introduction, 3 to 4 lines, some data points, some analysis points, and that makes a very good introduction. Moving on to the next part. Now you will talk about the positive sides or achievements of SCO. That is where you should start your answer with. Never start your answer with the dark side, because that also reflects your attitude towards life, and you do not want the examiner to judge you on the basis of how you answered the question. Always start with the positive note, positive introduction, or even if you are presenting a negative side, just back it up with data. Next point is telling about the positive side or achievements. First of all, it has brought peace and stability into Central Asia. If this apart from the crisis in Afghanistan, and in this crisis in Afghanistan also, SCO was very vocal about what to do and what not to do, what will be SCO's role. Apart from that, Central Asia mein ya Eurasian region mein peace and stability has increased. The role of SCO has actually increased the peace and stability. So in 2002, the group formally defined their main purpose to be regional security cooperation, and their first proactive step was to establish a 100-kilometer zone of reduced military activity around the border states of all these Central Asian regions. So this has resulted into greater security and stability in Central Asian region. The second one is growth of trade scale and establishment of cooperation mechanism. So since the breakup of Soviet Union, our relations with Central Asian nations, the relations of India with Central Asian nations and their relations with us, they were not very good, or there was a break in between. So that this, due to the trade that is happening now, due to the cooperative mechanisms of SCO, these relations have strengthened with time. The next one, and the most important one, is the Regional Anti-Terrorism Structure, in which under this organization, it is a sub-organization within SCO itself. So under this, all these member states came together, they signed an agreement that yes, we will fight against terrorism, we will fight against drug trafficking and organized crime in our member states, within our member states. So this is one of a kind. Not many organizations have sub-organizations fighting such things, and fighting on a very high level or quality control level. So also they carry out military exercises, joint military exercises, biennial joint military exercises by the name Exercise Peaceful Mission, where all member states participate and coordinate their military activities. The next one is SCO stands as a cooperative organization. you know that it has approved the inclusion of Iran. SCO has approved the inclusion of Iran and like in future Belarus also. So Iran was sidelined by most of the Western countries. The West had sidelined Iran even by the efforts of European Union. You know, European Union could not stand against USA by, you know, against USA, and they had to impose sanctions on Iran. So Iran was totally isolated, but SCO has entertained the membership. SCO has included Iran as a member. So first of all, it will strengthen our relations with Iran. The, you know, port that had been lying idle, or the, you know, pressures or sanctions from the West, they will not be, you know, very much strongly applicable, because now we can deal with Iran, we can have relations with Iran on this forum. Secondly, the status of Iran as a country will also improve. Our relations with Iran will also improve, especially through this forum, and with other nations also, other Muslim nations or other Central Asian nations. So this exactly justifies the point that yes, SCO stands as a cooperative organization. Now you can talk about all other developments of SCO in the field of education, or the youth partnership agreement that was you know, signed in 2021. So you can talk about all that, but what are the challenges? First of all, these member states of SCO, they do not have a very good history. For example, if you take the case of India, Pakistan, China, we have boundary disputes with China and Pakistan. We do not share a very positive history, and you know, though there could be cultural similarities or differences, but having a common history that is peaceful is very important for all people to work together at an international platform to, you know, voice their opinion as a single international forum, not as separate countries. So there are other many challenges, like eliminating religious extremism. This is one of the challenges. Ethnic separatism, international terrorism, improving trust and cohesion amongst members, better managing relations with external parties, etc. Some see it as a paper tiger. They call this organization wants to compete with NATO, but it is still a paper tiger. Initially, SCO was about military collaboration, but then it moved on to a cooperative organization. So NATO countries have already, and the Western countries have already named it as a paper tiger, while others describe it with suspicion as a counterweight to NATO. So these are the challenges which actually are impediments in the, you know, the attitude that the globe has towards SCO, plus in the way of SCO in becoming a stronger regional organization. So the lack of a common culture and shared peaceful history among the members acts as an impediment to the success of SCO. SCO has recently come up with this idea of a very innovative idea of you know, cultural and tourism capital declare कर दिया जाता है कुछ cities को. So this year Varanasi has been declared as the first cultural and tourism capital. So by these methods, by these innovative techniques, by these innovative methods, this cohesion between countries can be increased. So addressing these challenges will go a long way in strengthening SCO, and hence in the long run, if we can address these challenges, then SCO can become voice of Eurasian region nations, Central Asian as well as South Asian, including India, like Southeast Asian nations, not Southeast Asian nations but South Asian nations. So it can become a strong voice at the global level of its member nations if it is able to address these challenges. So it has the potential to become the voice of its member countries, protecting their interest at the global level, hence standing as a torchbearer of geopolitical liberty, peace and freedom on the other. This is exactly your question statement. You know, we do not recommend that you actually copy the question statement, but sometimes you can use this technique when you feel that enough data or enough content has been put in your answer. So sometimes you can do it, but not for all the questions. So this was your answer for today. I hope this topic is clear to you. If it is not, go back to the current affairs discussion playlist on our YouTube channel. Stay tuned, write your answer, and we'll respond back to you with our valuable feedback. Take care.